Hello guys, welcome back to a new video. In this video, I'm going to cover how to solve percent problems using the percent equation. Now, specifically, we're going to take a look at finding the whole. Now, for the second equation, we can use the percent times the whole equals the part. Keep in mind, the equation can help us with any percent problem, whether we're looking for the percent, the whole, or the part. We plug in what we are given and solve what we are looking for. So let's jump into number one, where we have 18 is 75% of what number? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by writing the equation using variables. And then we will plug in. So percent times whole equals part. So the P is for percent, the W is for whole, and the A is for part. Now, as far as identifying the different parts of the equation, so figuring out the percent, the whole, and the part from the problem, what I like to do is identify the percent and the whole first. So, we already have our percent, which is 75. So what we can do is we can plug this in immediately, like this, 75. So, now we have 75% times the whole equals our part, so our final answer. So when we're finding the whole of a percent problem, we have to work in decimals. So we have to make our percent in a decimal. And to do this, all you have to do is divide the percent by 100. And you can do this very easily by moving the decimal of the percent to the left twice, like this. So we have 75% here, and we can move it twice to the left right here, and we will have 0.75. So this is going to be our starting foundation of our whole problem. And now what we have to do is we have to divide. So we are going to divide 18 by 0.75. So let's do this over here. So we're going to divide 18 by 0.75. And as you guys know, when we are dividing the numbers, we want both of the numbers to be whole numbers. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to turn this 0.75 into a whole number by multiplying it by 100. So we are going to move the decimal to the right again twice, like this. And now we will have 75. So now we are dividing 18 by 75. So, and of course, if you multiply the decimal by 100, we have to multiply 18 by 100 also. So we can put two zeros after the 18, and we have 1800 divided by 75. And now we can just start dividing and find our final answer. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to see how many times 75 fits into 180. 75 fits 2 times into 180. So we are going to write our 2 above our 180. Write your number at the correct spot because this will be very necessary for our final answer. So now what we have to do is we have to multiply. So we're going to multiply 75 by 2. 75 multiplied by 2 will be 150. So we can write this down right here. And now we have to subtract these numbers. So 180 minus 150 equals 30. So we can write our 30 down. Now, as you can see, we have a 0 left. So we are going to bring this down and we get 300. And now we just repeat the process all over again one more time and we will get to our final answer. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see how many times does 75 fit into 300. Well, 75 fits 4 times into 300. So you can write your 4 up here. So now we have to multiply. So 75 multiplied by 4, 75 times 4 will equal exactly 300. So what we can do is now we can subtract these two like this. And 300 minus 300 equals 0. As you can see, we got 0 minus 0 equals 0, 0 minus 0 equals 0, and 3 minus 3 equals 0. So we will get 0. And this tells us that we have landed on our final answer of 24. So this means that 18 is 75% of 24. And now this will be our final answer. So I'm going to do one more equation with you guys, or one more percent problem with you guys using the exact same method to get this down. So give me 1 second. So now for our second example, we have 14 is 35% of what number? So now we're going to do this one also together to get this down. So the first step I'm going to take is, again, I'm going to write the equation in variables. So we get P times W equals A. And for the first equation, or the first problem, I sped it up a little bit, but for the second one, I'm going to take 2 more steps or 3 more steps to maybe teach you guys a little bit more about this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to identify our part, our whole, and our percent, our whole, and our part. So our percent is going to be 35. But again, we want this in decimals. So we're going to divide 35 by 100 by moving the decimal to the left twice. So we have 0.35 times whole equals, and our part is 14. So this will be our equation. And of course, with equations, to find out a variable, the value of a variable, we want to isolate the variable first. So what we're going to do is we are gonna change our multiplication to division. So we're gonna divide this by 0.35. And 0.35 divided by 0.35 will cancel each other out, so we are just left with the W, or with our whole. And of course, if you are dividing the left side of the equation, we also have to divide the right side of the equation. So we get W, or whole, equals 14 divided by 0.35. So this is why we have to divide. Now we're gonna divide by head, step by step, like the last problem, to get to our final answer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna divide 14 by 0.35. But as I said in the last problem, we have to make this a whole number. So we're gonna multiply by 100 again by moving the decimal to the right twice, 1 and 2. And then we will get 35 and 1400. We got 1400 right here because we have multiplied this by 100, and of course we have to multiply both sides by 100 if we multiply one side. So now we can start our division. So the first step we're going to take is we're going to see how many times 35 fits into 140. Well, 35 fits 4 times into 140. So we write our 4 up here. Now we have to multiply. So 35 times, 35 times 4 will equal 140. So now we can subtract. So we're going to do 140 minus 140, and we will get 0. So because we get 0, you might think that 4 is our final answer, but that doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to show you what our final answer is. So we're going to bring down our 0 right here because we have this 0 left, and we get 0 and 0. So basically just 0. Now we're gonna look how many times does 35 fit into 0. Well, 35 fits exactly 0 times into 0, so we can write this down right here. And now because we can't go any further, or basically we can, but if we multiply 0 by 35, again, we will get 0, and you can see this will be a very long cycle. So we have finally got to our final answer of 40, right here. So this one can be a bit complicated because they because it looked like we got to our final answer pretty quickly. But don't get this twisted. If you have another 0 which you haven't utilized yet, you are not at your final answer yet. So our final answer is going to be 14 is 35% of 40. So our whole, or our W, our variable of our equation what we made, is going to be 40. So this will be our final answer. I hope you guys understand it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a question in the comments if you have any, and for more percent problems, go look at my percent playlist, which I will link in the video at the end of the video, so basically in like 5 seconds. And as always, this was Mr. Mathz, and I'll see you guys in the next one.